Hello, my dear students and viewers. Welcome back to my channel, Scorpio class. I am here with one of the informative and constructive video for all my dear viewers and especially for my class 10 students. As in this video, we are going to discuss class 10 second language English passing package for the chapter Gentleman of Rio and Medio. Yes, students, as you all know, we are going on with the passing passage series for the year 25-26. Here we are with the chapter number 3, and this video have all the objectives, long question answers, short question answers, extract based questions, which will help you all to prepare your notes very well and also prepare for your exams. So stay tuned till end and do not miss any part of it. So let's get started. But before that, if you are new to my channel and watching my video for the first time, do subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so that you get the notification of all the upcoming videos. And yes, my dear viewers, if you want to join my WhatsApp channel, you can do it the same by going to the description box where I'll be sharing the link, where you will get the details and the updates as well. So now let's continue with our video. We have question answers and objectives of Gentleman of Rio and Medio. Very first question, multiple choice question for 1 mark. First one. It took months of negotiation to come to an understanding with the old man. This shows that the old man was, answer is option C, unhurried. Next, the old man came to the office to, option C, sign the sale deed. There are 4 options you can read. I'm just reading the right answer. The old man was accompanied by, option D, a dark young man. Next, behind him walked one of his innumerable kin. The word innumerable kin means that the old man had a number of, option C, relatives. The old man in his coat looked like, option A, Senator Catron. Next, the old man removed his hat, gloves slowly and carefully. This action is compared to, answer is option D, Charlie Chaplin. Next, the young man who accompanied the old man had eyes like, answer is option B, gazelle. Next, the old man carried a cane which was actually, answer is option C, a skeleton of a worn out umbrella. Next, the old man wore a coat named, answer is option D, Prince Albert's. Next, which of the lines from the text does suggest that the old man was a farmer? Answer is option C, he tilled the same land they had tilled. Next, how did the old man greet the people who had been waiting for him? The right answer is option D, bowed to all of them. Next, the old man removed his hat and gloves carefully because, answer is option D, to respect all who assembled. Next, in the first meeting of the old man and the Americans, they talked about rain and the old man's large family. It was, answer is option C, to prepare everyone for the main talk. Okay, you can just look at all the options and the right option is highlighted with the blue color. Next, the old man had agreed to sell house and land for, answer is option A, $1,200. Next, the storyteller respected the old man by saying, option B, Don Anselmo. Next, according to the engineer, the old man owned the land, option C, more than 8 acres. Next, Don Anselmo took only $1,200 for the land finally because, option B, Don Anselmo was a man of principles. Next question. It took a week to arrange another meeting because the old man, answer is option B, was slow. Next, Don Anselmo says the Americans are good people because he wanted to, option C, express his sincere feelings. Next, the old man sold his house and land to the Americans because, option A, the Americans were good people. Next, Don Anselmo sold his land but he did not sell his, option C, trees in the orchard. Next, the children of Rio and Medio were Don Anselmos, option A, sobrinos and nietos, means nephews and niece. Okay. Next, Don Anselmo inherited the house from, option C, his mother. According to Don Anselmo, the real owners of the trees were, answer is option D, the children of Rio and Medio. Next, Don Anselmo did not sell the trees because, answer is option C, he had grown them in memory of every child birth. Next, legally saying the trees should belong to, option B, the Americans. Next, what did Don Anselmo do as he left the place with money? Answer is option A, shook hands all around. Next, the gentleman Don Anselmo was very fond of, option A, children. So here we finish with our first main, that is multiple choice question. Now we'll move into question answers. But before that, my dear viewers, if you want the explanation of this particular chapter, the video is already uploaded in the channel and the video link will also be shared in the I button above here. You can watch the explanation and then you can continue it with the question answers here. So let's see the first one. Answer in 2-3 sentences here. The first question is, describe the old man's property. Answer, the old man's house was small, wretched but quaint. His orchard was gnarled and beautiful. The little creek ran through his land. Next, where did Don Anselmo live? What work did he do? Answer, Don Anselmo lived in a small, quaint house in Rio and Medio. He tilled the land that was inherited to him from his ancestors. Next question. Explain briefly the appearance and manners of Don Anselmo. Answer. Don Anselmo wore an old green faded coat. His gloves, too, were old and torn, and his fingertips showed through them and carried a cane, which was the skeleton of a worn out umbrella. When he entered the room, he bowed to all and slowly removed his hats and gloves. Next question. How did the old man greet the people who had been waiting for him? Answer. The old man bowed to all of them in the room. He then removed his hat and gloves slowly and carefully. Next, what did the Americans discover after the survey? Answer. After the survey, the Americans discovered that Don Anselmo owns more than 8 acres of land which extends across the river. Next. The storyteller offered the old man almost the double of what he had quoted earlier. Why? Answer. The storyteller offered the old man almost double of what he had quoted earlier because he discovered that Don Anselmo owns more than 8 acres of land which extends across the river. Next question. What was the reaction of the old man to the storyteller's offer? Answer. The old man hung his head for a moment in thought, stood up and stared at the storyteller's offer. Next. After the survey, the Americans offered double the quoted price for the old man's land. Why? Answer. The Americans were good people, and when they found that Don Anselmo owned more than 8 acres of land, they offered to pay double the price they had quoted earlier. Next question. Why did the storyteller fail to convince Don Anselmo to accept more money? Answer. The storyteller failed to convince Don Anselmo to accept more money because Don Anselmo felt that he was insulted by the offer. Next. Why do you think that Americans wanted to buy Don Anselmo's land? Answer. The little creek ran through the land of Don Anselmo and was a good source of water. His orchard was gnarled and beautiful, and his house was quaint. So, to lead a happy and peaceful life, the Americans wanted to buy Don Anselmo's land. Next question. Why did the storyteller say that the Americans are buona gente? Answer. The storyteller said that the Americans are buona gente because they did not want to cheat Don Anselmo and they were willing to pay Don Anselmo twice the money for his land. Next, how the problem of ownership was resolved by the Americans. Answer. The Americans bought the tree in the orchard from the descendants of Don Anselmo. It took a long time because they purchased from each individual of Rio and Medio. Next question. Why did the Americans complain the storyteller on the old man? Answer. The Americans complained the storyteller that the children of the village were running around the land, playing in the orchard, putting fences around their play area, plucking the flowers from the trees, laughing whenever they were spoken. They laughed at the Americans and replied in Spanish, so they could not enjoy their property. Next. How do you say that Don Anselmo was generous? Answer. Don Anselmo was generous because he was a man of principles. He refused to take the extra money offered by Americans for his land. Next. Why do you think Don Anselmo did not sell the trees in the orchard? Or Don Anselmo had concern for the children of Rio and Medio. Explain briefly. So again, you have two questions here and the answer will be the same. Don Anselmo planted a tree for memory of every birth of a child. So the trees in the orchard belongs to the children of Rio and Medio. Hence, Don Anselmo could sell only the orchard but not the trees in the orchard. Now moving to next question, that is the last question. What makes you think that Don Anselmo was a man of principles? Americans surveyed the land and found that land was more than 8 acres. They offered double amount for the land. He rejected the offer and stuck towards the words what he had already quoted. This shows that he was a man of principle. So here we complete our 2 to 3 mark questions. Now we move on to extract based questions. I hope this video is going to prepare you very well for your exams because it has questions from every corner of your book. So just stay tuned till end. Now let's move on to the extract based questions. First one. It took months of negotiation to come to an understanding with the old man. Who is the old man referred here? Answer. Don Anselmo. What was the negotiation about? The negotiation was about the selling of the old man's land. Why do you think it took months to come to an understanding? Answer. It took months to come to an understanding because the old man was in no hurry to sell. Second question, second extract. We have made a discovery. Who is we referred here? It's Americans. What did they discover? They discovered that Don Anselmo owns more than 8 acres of land. What was the result of the discovery? As a result, they offered Don Anselmo double the price of what they had quoted earlier. Next question. These Americans are buona gente. What is the meaning of buona gente according to the context? Answer. Buona gente means good people. Why did the speaker called Americans buona gente? The speaker called Americans Viewing because after the survey, they did not cheat on Anselmo and were ready to pay twice the money they had quoted earlier for the additional land. Who is the speaker here? It's narrator. Next question. He said, I do not like to have you speak to me in that manner. Who is he? Who is I here? It is Don Anselmo. What is the mood of the speaker? The speaker felt that he was being insulted. What made him to react so? He said these words when the Americans offered him twice the money they had quoted earlier for his land. Next question. I have agreed to sell my house and land for $1,200 and that is the price. When did the speaker say this? Answer. The old man said this when the Americans offered him double the price that had been quoted earlier for his land. What does this statement talk about the speaker? This statement tells that the speaker was not greedy and he was a man of principles. Next question. Why did the speaker agree to sell Americans? Again, answer, they were good people, so he agreed to sell. Next question. I did not sell them the trees in the orchard. Why didn't he sell the trees in the orchard? Answer. According to Don Anselmo, he did not sell the trees because the trees belonged to the children of Rio and Medio. Next question. How did Don Anselmo defend his statement? Answer. Don Anselmo defended that when a child was born in the village, a tree was planted and so the trees belonged to the children of the village. Next, was Don Anselmo right in saying this? Answer is yes. Okay, next question. He lived up in Rio and Medio where his ancestors lived. He tilled the same land they had tilled. Who does he and they refer to? Answer. He refers to the old man Anselmo and they refers to his ancestors. What does the statement convey? Answer. The statement conveys that Anselmo was the oldest man in the village, Rio and Medio. What was the profession of the old man? Answer is farmer. The trees in that orchard are not mine. According to Don Anselmo, who did the trees belong to? Answer. The tree belonged to the children of Rio and Medio. Why did he feel so? Answer. He felt so because every time a child was born in the village, he had planted a tree for the child. When did speaker make this statement? When Americans complained about children's disturbance in the orchard, at that time he made the statement. Next question. It took months of negotiation to come to an understanding with the old man. He was in no hurry. What he had the most of was time. Who is the old man here? Answered Don Anselmo. Who did the old man negotiated with? The old man negotiated with the Americans. What were the terms of negotiation? The old man had agreed to sell his house and the land to the Americans for $1,200. Why did the negotiation take long time? Because the old man had a lot of time and he was in no hurry. Next question. They are good people and they are willing to pay you for the additional land as well. You will get almost twice as much. So question here, who are the good people referred here? Answer, the Americans are referred to as good people. Why are they offering twice the amount? The Americans found that the Anselmo owned more than 8 acres of land, almost double of what was mentioned in the deed. Did the owner accept the double amount? No, he did not accept. Next question. When you sold them, you signed a document, a deed, and in that deed, you agreed to several things. One such thing was that they were to have the complete possession of the property. Who sold the property to whom? Don Anselmo sold his property to the Americans. Why could not they have complete possession of the property? Answer, because the children of Rio and Medio were overrunning into their orchard. How did they get complete possession? They consulted every child of the village and paid rid value of each tree. Next. I know these Americans are good people, and that is why I have agreed to sell to them, but I do not care to be insulted price. So question is, who is the speaker and why does he call them good people? Answer, Anselmo is the speaker and he calls the Americans good people as he was a gentleman. What did he sell them and how much did he offer? The old man Anselmo sold them his house and land for $1,200. Why did he feel insulted? Who insulted him? The author and the Americans offered twice the amount as in the deed. But Anselmo was an honest and a gentleman. He did not want more than the deed amount. Next, I argued with him, but it was useless. Who argued with whom? The author argued with the old man Don Anselmo. What was argued with him? He argued with him to take the extra amount for the extra land possessed by Anselmo. What was the outcome? The old man did not accept double amount. He signed the document for sale. Next question. One day they came back to the office to complain. The children of the village were overrunning their property. Who complained to the office? The Americans complained to the office. What was their complaint? Their complaint was that the children of Rio and Medio were overrunning their property. What is the property referred here? The property refers to the land purchased by the Americans. They are good people and want to be your good neighbor always. Who spoke these words? Who are called good people here? So answer, the author called the Americans good people. Who is he speaking to? Why does he speak so? He is speaking to Anselmo because he wants Anselmo to avoid the children of Rio and Medio overrunning into the orchard. Who are the neighbors referred here? Answer is the Americans. So we complete our extract-based questions here. Now we move on to 8 to 10 sentences answer. So let's quickly read out and clear this. Okay, so first one. Don Anselmo and the Americans were generous in their own ways. Explain. Answer. The Americans informed Don Anselmo that after survey, they found that he owns more than 8 acres and were willing to pay double the agreed amount. This shows that the Americans were generous and they did not want to cheat him. Once again, when the old man stuck to his words that the trees belonged to the children, they bought the trees individually from the villagers. Don Anselmo, however, was a man of principles and refused to take anything more than the amount agreed upon and expressed his generosity. Next, at last, the problem of ownership was resolved, but it took long time. What might be the reason for it? After buying the property from Don Anselmo by the Americans, the children of Rio and Medio began to overrun the orchard and spent most of their time there. This was brought to the notice of Don Anselmo, and he was asked to stop the children. Don Anselmo claimed that he had sold the land to them, but not the trees. He had planted a tree for each child born in the village, and the trees belonged to the children, not to him. The owners were left with no choice. They had to buy the trees individually from the villages, and this took a long time. Next question. I did not sell the trees because I could not. They are not mine. How did the old man support this statement? The old man explained that he was the oldest person in the village. Almost everyone there was related to him, and all the children of Rio and Medio were his nieces and nephews. He planted a tree for every child that was born in the village. So the trees in the orchard belonged to the children. Hence, there was no way he could sell the trees along with the land. Next, Don Anselmo's reaction to the offer of more money was not expected. Justify the statement. Answer. Don Anselmo agreed to sell his land for $1,200. After the survey, the Americans found that the land was more than 8 acres and they were willing to offer twice the amount for the extra land. The old man could have been happy, but as he heard this, the old man hung his head for a moment and stared at the storyteller. He felt that he was being insulted. He told them that he had agreed to sell his property for $1,200 to the Americans because they had good and stuck to his words. Because they are good and stuck to his words. This reaction of the old man was truly unexpected. So this we come to an end with this question and answers. We have discussed n number of question and answers here. I hope this is going to help you a lot to prepare for your exams. And if you find this video as helpful and if you liked it, do hit the like button and share it with your friends. Do subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for more such videos. We'll be back soon. Till then, stay safe and take care. Thank you.